Here with former light heavyweight champion of the world, Oleksandr Gvozdyk, the nail. We're here in sunny Acapulco. It's not very sunny in here. How are you, champ?
Looking great. The weather is great. The place is great. The atmosphere is great. Everything's great.
So what we want to do today is just talk about your career and your life, and particularly your early days in Ukraine, growing up in Kharkiv. What was it like growing up in Kharkiv?
It's pretty much the same like to growing up in every other city because, our situation of the cities before that February was kind of the same everywhere. It's a regular childhood. I'm not from a rich family, not from poor family, regular. Everything not boring, I would say, to explain.
Were you always athletic when you were younger? You always into sport?
Well, I start when I was 10 years old. Before I think I was weaklings, and sport helped me to be at least looks like a athletic man.
Was it always boxing? I know in Ukraine football.
No, I never do nothing else. I mean, sport wise, but boxing.
Do you remember the first time that you started boxing?
Oh yeah, for sure. Actually, I got the gym of kickboxing gym first, and my schoolmate, classmate, he started training kickboxing, and he said like, "Hey, would you like to go with me?" And my goal wasn't to be a champion, to be Olympian, to be a boxer in the end of the day, but my goal was just to be tougher, just to be like more popular in class. I was thinking the kickboxing is something where you do katas when you're using fingers to hit, and then when I get there, I realized that it's a little bit different. It's more closer towards boxing, and also we were mixing, like we were training a couple days it was kickboxing, the couple days was just arms, and little by little I switched for the boxing. It was, what I remember, it was terrible, a stinky of sweat, dirty gym, but it was cool.
What was it about boxing that caught you, that captivated you? What did you love about it?
I don't know, like even as I said, I start kickboxing. When you see sparring, I started watching sparring like guys who already know how to do things. They were sparring more experienced than me, and I don't know, just maybe just the algorithm of what they do in the ring. I think if you compare again kickboxing and boxing, because I came to kickboxing, I just like it. Like it just some pattern of movement, overcoming yourself. This was what catch me. I don't know. I fell in love with it.
You were a successful amateur. I, of course, went to the Olympics in London, where we're from. What was the highlight of your amateur career?
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely. This is what you just mentioned. It was Olympic Games 2012. I think it's a highlight of the every amateur's career. Same as mine. Like you are there, you're on a pedestal, you're raising the Ukrainian flag. Even not in the first place, of course, but whatever, it's still there. You still put your name in the Olympic history, which is in the pinnacle of the amateur sport, I think.
You had a very close fight at the Olympics, and you ended up with the bronze medal. Are you disappointed? Are you happy? What were your emotions?
It was both, like because again, like Olympic medal, it's a dream of every fighter, every boxer, every athlete. And it's kind of both because we have another guy, Yevgen Hitro, who, for my opinion and for opinion of I think a lot of people, majority of people, was robbed, and he was fighting 75 kilos, and that what happened with him in the first fight. And on one hand, I was happy that I had got bronze. I mean, and at the same time, I was disappointed I was robbed, but I was happy it didn't happen to me in the first fight. I still got bronze. I still there, still on the pedestal.
I'm always very keen to speak to Ukrainian fighters about the Olympic Institute Kiev. I've spoken to many fighters who have gone there to spar. You've got Oleksandr Usyk, Vasiliy Lomachenko. What's the Olympic Institute like? What's it like coming through the amateur system in Ukraine?
I mean, I don't know what's the amateur system of preparation in UK, but I can compare because last 9 years I live in the United States. I can compare what happened in Ukraine and United States. So honestly, I don't know how American amateurs. Actually, they're not really successful on the amateur ring, quite honestly, because they are turning pro very soon. And I know why, because there's no like a specific, developed system. Because I think Ukraine's still using this old Soviet Union system where you have those like junior schools where every kids are gathering, everything is systematic, and like it's completely different. So here, so you have even like starting to come into the gym, like it's starting like warm up, you're staying in one line, everyone has number, you have specific tasks, trainer like guiding you and following you in every exercises. In the States, you just got to the gym, you get in like a bandage, okay, go ahead, bags, whatever. So there's not much of teaching here in the United States. This is why you see the big difference in the styles, like even American says that the European has like more robotic styles, but from our standpoint, we have more like educated fighters, and this is just different, like I think in American boxing they more looking for like young prodigies who becoming champions and talented because of their skills, which they given by the nature, by the god, whatever. In Ukraine, a lot of fighters, they different because they getting taught so hard from the very beginning, which you don't gonna see in the United States. This is the main difference. So in United States, again, in my case, this is why I'm doing comparison, is you more like on your own, even being amateur. In European countries, I'm talking about post-Soviet Union countries, it's more like a system when from the very childhood they brought you up as a disciplined, and it's a specific system of preparation.
Came through like a golden generation. Ukrainian boxing, you had Oleksandr Usyk, Vasiliy Lomachenko, both won gold in 2012. For Oleksandr Usyk, what was your first memories of him? How long have you known him, and what's your relationship?
Oh, we are friends, we're in touch. I saw him first time, man, I think it was 2002, probably. It was some tournament somewhere in Ukraine, some regional tournament. And honestly, when I saw him first time, I just noticed like what an ugly style of, and this guy was just kind of awkward, just kind of very, very different. Even, like even his body was kind of, we are developing in all in different ways, when we are kids or adolescent. And he was kind of clumsy, awkward guy, but still he was beating ass of those guys. And I was kind of impressed how come this guy being so awkward can surpass those more skilled and better educated guys. This was my first impression. And I think first when I get in touch with him, it was probably 2006. I met him. We were in Simferopol, Crimea, on like a training camp. It was our town team. Our region team was going for like a mutual training camp training camp together in Simferopol. They were sparring, met him, and then he became a Ukrainian champion first time senior in Odessa 2006, and already becoming like a star, a big deal in Ukrainian amateur boxing, being like a top prospect.
He went from like European Games gold medal, World Amateur gold medal, Olympic gold medal.
He won everything.
As a pro cruiserweight undisputed, now unified heavyweight champion. Could you have imagined when you saw that awkward kid in 2000?
How come? No. How come I could imagine that? Nobody could. Probably himself.
What do you make of his kind of rise and knowing him for as long as you have and seeing the success that he's had?
Oh, dedication, talent, toughness, of course. His beliefs. He's a big, very, very big believer. And combination of those things makes him great.
Seems like an interesting character as well. As a person.
Oh, for sure. He's very different, very charismatic, and what I can tell you, you can see everything when you look at him. He's not like there's no anyone else like him.
What's your relationship with Vasiliy Lomachenko? I know you've known him for a long time, but I know that in recent years, especially, it's not always been the relationship that maybe it was a few years ago.
Yeah, the relationship now it means they equal to zero. There's no relationship, but it doesn't mean I'm hating him or it's any problems. No, not. But we just kind of cool down to each other, and I don't want to be inconvenient, or we just I have last conversation Listen, I don't want to be a jerk here or say same some shit. No, no, he's a nice person. He's Ukrainian. I think he loves his country, and but it was just relationship, and now there's just no relationship. This is it. No feud, no problems, but no friendship.
And another fighter who, like yourself, like Oleksandr Usyk, did a tremendous amount as an amateur and as a professional, and another wonderful fighter and a great Ukrainian fighter.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Talking about going into the professional game, you were working with Robert Garcia early in your career.
Yeah.
What was that like, being based in Oxnard? A very different setting, I'd imagine, to what you'd be used to as an amateur.
Well, as I told before, I like challenges, and first of all, also coming back to Vasiliy Lomachenko, he helped me by his instance to make this decision to turn pro, because after Olympic Games, I was thinking that's it. I was thinking to do something else, maybe to start doing some business. I have a lot of friends in Ukraine, and I have some proposals where I can possibly work. But then, at some point, first of all, Usyk turned pro, then Vasil turned pro. We were really close back in the day, and he say, I asked him, who you working with? What do you think? They say, why not to try? And he suggested me Egis Klimas as a manager. He said, like, this guy is trustworthy, and we are already working with him, and why I have to search for someone else if my friends give me a very good reference about the person, that he's trustworthy. And I just came to States, and Egis was based in Los Angeles, as he right now, I think. Yes. And this is it. What options we have? And he has very good relationship with Robert Garcia. But the only problems I remember, it was the sparring partners, because in Oxnard, I get there 2014. There were no like bigger guys my size, so we went to Las Vegas to Bob Arum. And what I remember, they attached to my contract that they will cover the sparring partners. So we were inviting them, and they will cover, their expenses, top rank, not me. Because in the beginning, obviously, my first purse was 5,000. Like if you pay him, like, let's say the sparring partner 1,000 a week, and you have at least 2 weeks of preparation, not really cool. So this is how I got in Oxnard. And there, I'm happy that I get there. And actually, I stuck there until today. I moved a little bit towards Los Angeles to Camarillo, but I like the area. Like there's no traffic. And there you like, sometimes in some LA areas you feel like you're still somewhere, because you get in a Russian speaking community. There you kind of get in on your own, which is more interesting, more, I don't know. It's more like a journey, more like.
Egis is an interesting character. We've
Yeah, no doubt.
been around with Egis for over the years many times. What type of person is he? What type of manager was he for you?
Oh, he's very smart, good manager, good businessman, and yeah, I think he's a good options for any fighter to work with. He has a lot of connections.
That early stage of your career, how did you, somebody who had a lot of success as an amateur, turning pro, particularly with Robert Garcia, it's a very pro style. How did you find the adjustment?
This is it. You come into the gym, and like you either adjust or you better go home, because nobody's gonna, babysit you or like give you some special advices or, pacify you. No, this is just like you come into the gym. No one's respect you. You come into the completely Mexican gym. There was just two persons. There was Gradovich there and Lithuanian guy, Egis Kavaliauskas. There was two guys who were speaking Russian, because back in the day I didn't speak English, just some basic words. And you just either, like how you gain respect. So you come in there, all Mexican and Latino fighter, they're looking at you like a piece of crap, and then when you get in the ring, them when you start kicking their ass, they start to respect you, and then you becoming popular. You getting comfortable everywhere.
Do you remember specific spars early in your career? Do you remember who you sparred?
Well, listen, everybody talking about that. One of the funniest one, it was when I was sparring Brandon Rios. But you're supposed to know, like, Brandon Rios at that time was fighting in super lightweight. I think 140 or maybe 147. No, I think 140. But usually, of course, he walking around like in a off camp season, maybe the same weight as me, but definitely not the same size. He just fat. and he very nice guy, very noisy, very charismatic, tough. And I come into the gym and you see me like, I don't know if I can say that, like, you fucker, come on, you're gonna go to the gym with me. I say like, well, with all respect, but you're kind of small. I know you're the, back in the day, I mean, 2 times world champion, but whatever, you like 140er, you know? No, come on. Okay. And Robert said, yeah, you go. Okay. And still, I respect him, a world champion, but he's smaller, you know, like he's shorter than me. Like, I mean, I'm exaggerating, of course, but he started to do the same shit in the ring, you know, like he started talking, like, come on, fucker, come on, show me something. And I show him something, you know, like I wobble him, and then he was, after spar me, like 2 weeks after, he was walking around in a like a bandage on his neck. And since we became good friends.
Brandon Rios is a very interesting man.
Yeah, but he's a nice guy. He's very noisy, but he's not a bad guy.
One of the earliest professional fights I remember watching you in was against Tommy Karpency.
Yeah.
You were hurt early in the fight.
Yeah.
How difficult was that, and what did you learn from that fight later on in your career?
Well, it was something new. It was a new experience. You know, like I've been dropped once before in amateurs, and you know, but this wasn't in the pro because actually it was right after my successful fight against Mohammedi. I knocked him out in a spectacular way in the second round. And everybody started telling me, "Oh, this is like a big next big thing," and you can automatically start to believe in it. And then I think I was preparing for either Sullivan Barrera. I think it's supposed to be some tough fight, and then all of a sudden, maybe like a couple of weeks before the fight, they changed it for Karpency, and he's southpaw. And of course, I took this fight, but I think I was kind of, you know, not to say underestimate him, but maybe a little bit. And it also proved you and everyone else that you have to protect yourself all the time. I think he kind of dipped down a little bit, and then I hold him, and the referee said either break or I think break, and I was thinking like, hey, break, but break is not a stop, and he threw what he threw. I think right hook, and I just didn't see it. Well, it was a clean knockdown. I felt wobbled even after I got up, but you know, I get my shit together and survived.
You mentioned working with Robert Garcia. What was the reason for you leaving Robert Garcia?
I never left him actually, because at the time I came to him, he had a lot of fighters like Maidana. He has a lot of world champions. Maidana, Brandon Rios was active, Gradovich, and he was helping Maidana to his rematch against Mayweather. You can imagine it's a money fight. And then I'm coming, okay, maybe I'm a prospect, but I'm gonna make 5,000. And from very first day, I start working with Marco Contreras, who I'm gonna work right now also. And Robert, he was like a head coach. But 95% of the time was spent with Marcus, because Robert, he he's in charge, but he's doing his own job. He's helping other, more bigger fighters. He always been in my corner. He's super nice guy. He paid attention what I'm doing every day, every single day. But he couldn't, distribute it as much as he did for me. There was a little bit of time, couple rounds in the mids, but all other works I was doing with Marcos. So this is why after my I helped with him maybe like 7-8 fights, and then he would decide to leave Oxnard, move to Riverside. And for me, it wasn't comfortable and convenient to move. So, and he told me, we have a conversation, a very friendly one. He said, like, listen, I'm moving. It's up to you, your decision. You can either stay in Oxnard with Marcos, or you can go there. You're always welcome. And I prefer to stay in Oxnard with Marco. And for me, pretty much didn't change much, because I used to train with him all the time. And I'm in a very good relationship with Robert, visiting him in the Riverside once in a while. He's a super nice guy and a very, very talented trainer.
You also worked with Teddy Atlas.
Yes.
In your career. Teddy Atlas is somebody who's doing well. Mike Tyson, he's another very interesting character.
Yeah.
What was it like working with Teddy?
It's also very interesting, and I think he gave me a lot of things, especially mental ones. You know, he's a good mentor, good trainer. You know, it's a very, very good experience.
One thing in particular stand out from your time with Teddy? We've all seen him in the corner. Sometimes he comes out some interesting things. Anything that you specifically remember from your time with him?
You know, like nothing happened like something to something unusual. I mean, but he let's say in our fight in Stevenson, he did his motivational speech after round number 10 when I was hurt, and Stevenson almost finished me, but I somehow I managed to survive. And he had this like this motivational speech, which has actually worked very well. He was telling me like, "You have 3 minutes left." It was actually 6, but I think he said either 3 or 6. He said like, so this 3 or 6 minutes right now can change the next 30 or 40 years of your future life. And actually he was right. And you know, like he knows the way, he find the way how to tell to you these simple words to make them work. And they actually did. And I stopped Stevenson in the next round.
That fight against Adonis Stevenson, I remember at the time I was watching it on my laptop because I was in LA for Wilder Fury. It was on the same night. Do you remember?
Yeah, I actually was watching this fight afterwards.
What was it like to get your hands on, you know, WBC champion, the lineal champion as well? You were the man. What was that feeling like?
Oh, it was tough, but at the time, you know, like I felt like not desperate, but I think I was waiting so long for the title shot because I felt I'm ready. I felt I'm getting ready, but again, I was thinking I'm gonna fight for WBO title because I was number 1, and when WBO, underworld vacate titles, so WBO title became vacant, and I was number 1. The number 2 was Sullivan Barrera. Kovalev was number 3, and then they decided to make fight Kovalev against Bransky and me, but actually it's supposed to be me and Barrera. But you know, like I think, unfortunately, in this world, sometimes money is stronger than rules. You know, so this was one occasion. Then another one they did. Then they give me kind of gift to make me happy to fighting some French guy for interim title, which is interim. It's kind of cool, but it's you kind of champion, but kind of not. You know, you kind of half champion. You know, when you're supposed to pay a sanction fee, you champion. But when you wanna, you know, get your purse better, they reminding you that you are not yet champion. So then this is why the fight with Stevenson, and I know he's a very dangerous guy, but you know, this is my dream, and if I wouldn't do it now, when's gonna be the next chance? So sure, I take this fight, and I was happy as how everything goes.
Stevenson was, even at that stage of his career, you know, had that lights out power in the left hand. Was he the biggest puncher that you ever faced, or was it Beterbiev?
Yeah, that's for sure. No, that, as I said, Beterbiev was a great and very hard punch, but I think Stevenson hit harder. He just hits you like, I don't know, like you have a goosebumps on your skin. Very hard hitter. He doesn't hit much, and you know, like people say, I didn't fight him in the pride, maybe because I'm watching his fight like 5 years before I fought him. And I'm just scared to watch them because knowing his power and see he was more active, because when I was fighting him, he started kind of slow down, but nothing happens with his cannon, believe me. You know, the good for me, he didn't throw it as much as before. But yeah, so he's definitely the hardest puncher I've ever fought, spar, or whatever.
The end of that fight, of course, you stopped Stevenson. After that, he became very unwell. He was injured after the fight. As a fighter, how does that make you feel? When you're a professional fighter, you want to win, you want to be champion, but you want people to be safe and to leave the ring healthy. How does that make you feel when somebody is injured like that?
You know, there's a good saying, it was like a spoon of dirt in a barrel of honey. My happiness, I cannot say, you know, I don't want to be hypocritical here, so I'm not going to say I was happy, not about what happened to him, because my dream came true. But yes, this happens under these circumstances. Maybe I would be, with no these circumstances, I would probably be more happier. But you know, I'm happy that everything ends well. And look at him right now; he looks like an absolutely normal person, which makes me happy. But of course, it gives me some nervousness right after fight because I don't want to be a murderer.
Did you,
Even unintentional one, obviously.
did you see him afterwards? Do you remember?
Personally, never. No, never since.
Is that
I was hoping I'm gonna see him here, but he didn't come.
So that is something that you'd like to do at some point.
Some point, yes, but again, I'm not saying that I'm leaving to this moment to happen. No, it's not my goal, not my dream, but would be great to see him. And even I can tell you, because I was upset after my loss to Beterbiev in my last fight, and then it was also WBC Convention in Cancun, and Stevenson, he was there. He was there, and he even recorded a motivational video for me, like loss is okay, something like this, like to support me, which is super cool.
How difficult was that, the fight with Beterbiev? I remember watching that fight, and it was the two best light heavyweights in the world, two unbeaten fighters. How difficult was that to come up short in that fight? It was a great fight as well, one of my favorite fights of the last 10 years.
No, it wasn't easy, I can tell you. And I think, look at Beterbiev. I think he's the best light heavyweight proven one. I think Bivol now has good chances to beat him, but let's make this fight happen. And talking about my fight with him, I think I gave him the best fight so far, and I'm happy with that. If I'm happy with the result, no, because I think I could do better. But what happened happened, and like if I get back, if I get in good shape, maybe we can make another fight which is gonna be better for me or more spectacular.
You retired, and I remember being surprised when you retired. What were the reasons behind that?
Listen, I'm not like to throw shit to some people, but I think I wasn't ready physically to this fight. Again, like we are talking now. If I'm saying that, it may be question to my trainer. But again, Teddy is a great trainer. But I think in some cases, in this specific case, I wasn't ready enough physically, and I knew that during the camp, and this was a problem, which is also kind of influenced me mentally as well, because I knew I'm not gonna last, and I cannot change my mind. I cannot just believe that I'm gonna do something without actually be sure that I can do it in a gym before. If I cannot do it in gym, how come I'll be able to manage it in ring, right? So this is probably was a problem. Preparation wasn't that good. I mean, as good as I expected to be to this specific fight.
When you retired from the sport, decided to move away, what were your reasons for that?
First of all, some new opportunities start coming to the place. I'm just, in my life, I'm not a believer. I'm more like a reasonable person, more pragmatic one. And, I like boxing, but I cannot say I cannot live without boxing. I very love, and I was missing it during this short retirement. But I think I got some very good opportunities business-wise. And also, it was a combination of things, actually. I lost my last fight. I'm 33 years old. COVID. So after fight, I was thinking, okay, I want a rematch because I believe I can do better. And then we stayed in another a mini camp, just a camp during the off season, just to stay tuned, And then okay, first fight, I supposed to fight some guys. Okay, March. Okay, we're getting ready. Then oh no, it's canceled. COVID, something happened. Okay, April. Oh no, cancel. Okay, May. And then purse is not as good. And then simultaneously, some other people start giving me some proposals business-wise, which I thought very, very perspective ones. But for some reason, I could not combine it. There's too much time I have to spend there. And I just decide to retire because I was thinking, okay, it's not only my decision. If I would be by myself, if I would be able to fight till 70 years old all my life, I would never quit. But how many time I left? Nobody knows what, right now we're looking on COVID for something like in the past, because now it's kind of given up. People all vaccinated. We not see much people in a mask. So kind of, it's kind of already past thing. Not sure, maybe it's going to come back. Hopefully not. But I mean, now it's people taking it easier than before. They're making all this noise, all this, craziness that out there was. So people were thinking now it's gonna be forever. People gonna live in masks, and what's gonna happen to boxing? For every like a forecaster say, like it's maybe next 2-3 years is gonna be sucks. Okay, what I have to do in my case? Wait till I gonna be 36 with no future. You know, like a boxing, it's not forever. So this is why, and I also have my family who depended on me. Okay, I found a way to what I gonna do to be successful, to be able to take care of my family. And it wasn't a easy decision. I was thinking maybe months or so about it. I'll start trying, and then I actually made the decision. But right now, the different circumstances come to place. The war, because thing I started doing was related to Ukraine. I started doing things in Ukraine. I started flying back and forth, spending a lot of time there. But now I kind of become into the place of 2019 when I just was thinking to make this decision. And now time to come back. But also I'm missing that, boxing.
Was it something that you kind of always knew in the back of your mind that maybe you would come back in the future, or when you retired, you think, okay, that's big?
There's nothing specific, but it was always an idea somewhere deep in my mind that I have to do something. I have to figure something out because I don't want to be like some great legendary fighters. Even I'm not gonna say specific names, not this convention, but before when I saw, and also I've been in a in kind of startup boxing Hall of Fame convention. I see some of those fighters who were just great and legendary. Some of them, honestly, I don't want. It's not like I'm not throwing stones in somebody's garden, but there's some of them looks miserable. I don't want to be this instance in my future. I want to be successful, and if I have to give up boxing towards, in favor to my success and healthiness and my happy old days, I will do this, and I think that's what I did, but seems like not yet.
What's the plan for you? What's the target for you now? You want to come back? Is it the Beterbiev rematch? Is it Dmitry Bivol? I mean,
Listen, for now, I think I have to fight somebody. Obviously, after 3 years of break, and we all both understand that I wasn't super active in the gym. Yeah, I was kind of staying in shape, stay tuned, but it's more like a calisthenics. Calisthenics and professional level preparation is completely different things. So I think to fight someone, not a top level opponent, just to see where I am, because I spar Canelo, I spar Zurdo, and I think I still in good conditions because I'm well take care of my body and myself, not abuse myself with alcohol or shit, So, but still, it's a pretty long pause. I have to get on the right track in the ring to see where I am, and I think one fight, maybe two, and then I'm ready to conquer the belts.
sparred Canelo in preparation for the Bivol fight. Did you expect the fight to go as it did, or did you expect Canelo to win? Were you surprised?
I definitely expect Canelo to win because I think he's capable to win. As I said, like now Canelo did the surgery. I think he wasn't 100%, as I said before, and in that fight. And at that specific time, I think Canelo supposed to beat Bivol, but he didn't. I think was kind of gift for Bivol in their fight. But since his last fight against Bivol, let's say in the last fight, Bivol looks way more impressive because there's a thing like even Teddy Atlas said, like after some guy becoming champion, but Bivol become champion with no fight, I think, and Canelo was his kind of like a big thing to prove himself that he really belongs to elite, to pound for pound fighters, which he handled very good. And now you can see very very big improvements in him. It goes from your mental state, I think. So now he believes in his same in himself. You can feel it by the way he's talking, by the way he's fighting, by the way he's looking. Now he's different fighter. He's get even more dangerous, way stronger. And now, as I said, like before that fight, before his last fight, I would bet on Beterbiev 100%. But for now, I think it's a 50-50 fight. Very, very interesting. So Bivol is very good right now.
when you have your 2 fights or 3 fights or whatever it is to get back to your peak performance, which one of those fights would you like? Is it the Beterbiev fight because you did it the first time, or does it not matter?
I have no problems with my ego, and also, quite honestly, it's tough to fight Beterbiev. So, but I want to fight this. I want this fight. So, obviously, probably my preference would be Beterbiev. But also, if Bivol gonna be available, I would like to fight him as well because they have titles.
What makes Beterbiev so difficult to fight? Is it just the power? Do you think his boxing skills are underrated? What's he like?
No, I told before. Oh, obviously, on the first place, it's his power and pressure because he's just phenomenally strong. But I think some people underestimated his skills because look, the guy he's a world champion. I mean, amateur one, amateur world champion, amateur vice world champion. Yeah, he got a silver medal. He won European championship I think a couple times. Yeah, he never get any success in Olympic games. But listen, you cannot be just strong and win the medals in an Olympic because it's just 3 rounds, and those fighters they're gonna find a way to beat you if you cannot box, if you're just strong, because there's not much time. You have not enough time to wear them out, than just to chew them up, which usually Beterbiev do in pros. Let's say let's say it was last fight or not against. Oh no, it was no, not just me. I'm talking about Marcus Brown. Because Marcus Brown actually did very good in the beginning, but then Beterbiev just chew him up because he just started making this brutal pressure. It was a brutal fight. I think if he wouldn't, that Marcus Brown can comfortably outbox him, but he realized that he cannot, be on the same level in boxing wise with Brown. He just started making this crazy pressure and just break him down. That's what makes him special. But he's actually a pretty good boxer. Not sophisticated one. No, I wouldn't say that. He's definitely not a Floyd Mayweather. He's definitely not a genius of defense, but he can box. But also, plus that, he has a phenomenal power.
Okay. Last few questions from me. Appreciate your time. One of the trainers that we haven't spoken about, somebody you work with as an amateur pro, Anatoly Lomachenko. What's your relationship with him? What did he do for you in your career?
Well, listen, but I can start with what he did to my career. He did a lot of things. He was my inspiration. He was inspiration of every guy in our team on the Olympic Games. But I think it's to his credit that this result, not for our head coach Sosnovsky, because Sosnovsky was more like a manager of the team. Because all the job did Anatoly Lomachenko. He, beside of the training part, he has very good mental part, psychological one. He's making this vibe in a team that we are invincible, we're unstoppable, kinda. And he never been my personal trainer, but he was like a mentor for the whole team, So he played the same role being for me being pro. So he never trained me, but they let me to be next to them, see what they're doing, be part of their team, and this also inspire you, to grow. When you train next to next to the best fighters, you getting better because you're looking at him, try to do the same, try to mimic, try to copy something, and of course, his contribution in my success is very huge. Be an instance for me. In regards to relationship, I can tell you that him and Vasil can make pause, and you can cut them, whatever. Yeah. So, my opinion, him and Vasil is like one person. Even Vasil said that I'm a game, he's a player, and that's absolutely true. So they have absolutely identical thoughts. So if my relationship with Vasil kind of cool down, automatically it's gonna happen with Anatoly Lomachenko. So we just I respect him, but we don't have any relationship for now.
Final question for me: you are a Ukrainian man, being a Ukrainian sports person. We've all been appalled by the atrocities that have happened in Ukraine this year with the conflict with Russia. Just how difficult has that been, not only for yourself, but of course for your countrymen and the people of Ukraine, the invasion of Russia in February of this year?
No, it's terrible. It's terrible for everyone. And listen, I'm here not just crying, like I'm the guy who immigrated like 9 years ago to United States, and maybe like from, let's say, material part, it didn't touch me, but it did, because I told you I'm retired because I'm start business in Ukraine. And I did my things in Ukraine, and it was everything. Everything was destroyed for now. So it's just terrible. You know what I can say. I'm not the guy who's gonna cry and tell me, oh, yo, help us and what you did. But believe me, it's sad. You know, like first week it started, I was watching TV constantly, like for I think 24 hours a day, because I was just shocked. I couldn't believe in it, because I actually believe that Russians, they're our brothers. Even though, yeah, this thing started 2014, but you know, it's still, I know it's political stuff, but nowadays it's a little bit more than political. So now these two nations, it's a feud. And I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, but next 50 years at least is gonna be a feud, because Ukraine is never gonna forgive this. You know, it can be political, but it's made by Russian hands on our territory. They can say whatever they want, that, oh, like they fighting some Nazis. Where are the Nazis there? I whole my life speak Russian, and I'm living in Kharkiv, and I'm traveling around Ukraine and the western part speaking Russian. And when in those parts of Ukraine, wherever majority of people nowadays, of course, because of the situation, even myself, I try to speak Ukrainian, even though I'm not good speaking Ukrainian, not a good speaker, but I do try. But way before, you go into the Lviv, speak Ukrainian or speak Russian to somebody under the counter, he replies Russian, even though he speaks Ukrainian. A lot of those Russians was coming to my countries. Now they saying they're fighting, they liberate us. Yeah, they liberate us from us. They want to just make this territory there. This is the truth. Of course, the Russian propaganda works already more than 20 years, and they believe that they liberate. I mean, that they make people believe they do. But what we're supposed to do about it? They just coming and killing us. And it was never a problem for Russian to come to Ukraine. There were a lot of cars with a Russian license plate there, nobody blowing them up before. And now all of a sudden, some of those Nazis or nationalists, where they are, what a stupid things. Even in our government, half of them were speaking Russian. What a BS, you know. So what I can tell about it, it's terrible. Like for everyone, for every other Ukrainian.
Now, final one. We've had Vladimir Klitschko, and of course, Vitaly Klitschko, mayor of Kiev. Just what source of inspiration have the Klitschko brothers, and particularly Vitaly, been to Ukraine?
So can you repeat the place?
Inspiration of the Klitschko brothers been to the people of Ukraine during.
It's a big inspiration. Listen, they're big media persons. They were heroes. They were idols, and of course, you know, they supporting people. Even the speech from like from the people, like they're inspiring people a lot. And Klitschko, obviously the mayor of Kiev, which is gives, again, when the mayor with the people, as you see, they're there, nobody left. So it's a good for people to show that they're with them, and makes people believe that something good gonna happen.
And then the final question before I let you go, Oleksandr Usyk, your old amateur teammate, someone that you know very well, the unified heavyweight champion of the world. We're from the UK. Tyson Fury, the WBC champion, he's not here at the WBC Convention, but it looks as though Usyk and Fury sometime next year for the undisputed heavyweight title. How does that fight play out?
Oh, it's a tough fight for both. I think, you know, like, I don't have a favorite in this fight, because Usyk is my favorite. I definitely gonna root for him, same as you for Fury probably. But Fury is he's a big guy, he's a big dude. And listen, I not taking nothing from Joshua, but again, this is a rule. You know, this is a rule that everybody does in the ring as much as his opponent lets him to do, right? Maybe Joshua was great even against Vladimir Klitschko, but he looks like a bomb against Usyk. It's not because he's a bomb, obviously, because Usyk make him look like one. Will he be able to do this against Fury? I don't know. It's a difficult fight and tough question, which we can have an answer only after their fight. But what I pray for is this fight gonna happen.
It's been a great fight. I'd love to see it.
I'm not praying. I'm not a religious person, though. It would just like people say.
Oleksandr Gvozdyk, thank you so much for your time. It's been a real pleasure to get to know you, your story. Thank you very much for speaking to us, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
Thank you, guys.